Okay, here we are. We alive, we alive, we alive. Cool. So, if you are watching right from the start, I'm going to get into a whole bunch of stuff if I can in this video over the next hour or so, maybe 2 hours. And I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot of context to get into. The main big one here right now currently is the coronavirus. And you have boarded the Corona cruise ship. I am your host and captain for this event, this series of events. This is, as I said, going to be my main context. The context was, you could say, when we are through the tunnel here, once we're on the other side, and we know how things have turned out, say maybe midsummer, I don't know, maybe the end of the year, maybe in a couple of years, my work is just going to revert back to the emergency of capitalism itself, I guess you could say. Just the ways in which we have separated and alienated from each other and subjected ourselves to this giant machine-like state which has no feelings and no cares for us. So of course it's up to us to be supporting the type of state, the type of machine which does actually care and which we can input meaningfully into, more input than a simple vote every 4 years. So I'm talking about responsibility, taking up responsibilities, and so that's kind of what I was into and what I've been into. And should I get right into all this context and my history and my story? I'll just say I've been on this stuff since 2008, since that crash, and researching and been through a lot and been through spiritual journeys and all kinds of stuff that I have to share. But up until this point, there have been very, very, very few takers, and of course I myself have not been very well prepared to express and to connect with people and to intersect your story where you are at. And I know that this is very important, and I know a lot of people are very into the coronavirus thing, obviously, because reality has broken down to some extent. We're in a cascading reality breakdown. So whether you're there or not yet, you probably will be sooner or later, and there's, of course, some common sense things we can do. The sooner we get into that, I was thinking earlier, into that mode, into that mindset, into that reality. I don't want to say welcome to my reality. This is welcome to God's reality, however you want to say. This is the pure potential beyond the simplistic ideas which our mind forms, and which up until this point very much, and it'll probably go back to that, like just being kind of trying to be realistic about it. This is gonna blow over, and we're gonna probably want to all go back to quote unquote normal, back to that normal that never changes. But of course, this is anti-life, this is against life, this is against the life force, this is against the Holy Spirit. This is not how the Spirit works. Everything changes all the time, and the sooner we tune into that and hold on to that everything changes. And what I mean by that is a certain letting go of cravings, of desires. When the senses trigger us with something, that triggers us to want to enter into a as the Buddhists say, a new birth of you just become possessed and taken over by this desire, and you go for it, and our various desires, and these are all the demons that we have. So what am I gonna do? So far there is nobody on the stream, because I believe my YouTube my YouTube settings previously were unlisted, so I don't think even a random straggler could find their way in here. Okay, so I'm gonna start notifying people once I grab my link. So I'll go to my channel. We'll see what is here, and how did I get to it before, because it was hidden. My videos, it should be there by now. We'll check OBS. We are streaming, in fact. So the problem being, so I need to get to, where do I go? This is my channel, YouTube Studio. Let's try that. And then I have to go to the classic version unless it's already here. I need to see what is currently running. So Creator Studio Classic. I already told you why I'm doing this, because you don't give me a link to my videos. It's going away very soon. Oh good, well I damn well hope you show me my videos that are currently streaming on your network, which you will not show me. Video manager, videos live streaming, okay. Let's see, you think there would be something going on here. Is there a stream? Yep, that's me. We are live. Cool. Stream health is questionable. Apparently, okay, but we've been streaming for 6 minutes. Zettelcast in. Okay, so we're calling this Corona Cruise. Corona Cruise 2020. Corona Cruise. We are on the Corona Cruise. I am your captain for this particular session. I expect you to captain your own vessel. Okay, I like that. Corona Cruise 2020. Yeah, sounds like a party. Sounds like a party. Should I do that? Okay, so Control Shift. Let's see if this is gonna work. Desktop. Control Shift desktops. I'm just checking if yes, we are at the desktop. Cool. So I got hotkeys. That's what took me a while to set this up. Sounds like a party. It's gonna be a party. Not yet. Unlisted. We'll call her public because it's fine. Public is fine. Fine. Whatever. Education. Yes. Stream options. Enable DVR. See back up to 12 hours while you're streaming, of course. Streaming options, low latency. Minimal playback buffering. Do I care about that? Best for real-time interaction. Okay. And if I... So I was scratching my chin a second ago. What are we at? We're at about 5 or 6 second. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. I don't need to go any more high quality or anything like that. The video looks fine. We're good. We're good. Important. You're legally required to. Whatever. Okay. This has no children in it. Watching now. That's me. Me is watching. Don't hold chat. I want to see my chat. Okay, and where is my link? Advanced, do not need. Create a highlight? No. Create a thumbnail. Watch video. What the flip? Okay. Never mind, but my thing is public now, so I should be able to go to... No. What the hell? What in tarnation? Oh, YouTube, why are you so stupid? Just give me my menu with my channel. Give me my channel. Give me my channel. Go to my channel. Creator Studio. No, no. God, you are annoying videos. Okay. Corona Cruise should be up there, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Okay, never mind. I'll just make sure we are on desktop mode here. Back to classic, because I need the link for my dang old video. Okay, and already I went in so many little directions there. This is the challenge, the big challenge. Live streaming. Give me a link. All I want is a link for my live stream. Do you understand, YouTube? Will you give me a flippin' link? Share the Mio live. No. Okay, where does that go? Fine. Me live. Okay, cool. Very good. So I can pause that instead of watching myself over and over again, open up a thing and probably hear myself too. No. Okay, desktop audio. Good. 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 Yes, no, actually I enjoyed doing just that. Okay, Corona Cruise 2020. The video, should I change the title to like, because it's going to be a video series. Let's call it March 13. Let's just put the date there, Friday, March 13. Friday, March 13. I'm not gonna increment a number or anything like that. No, it's not made for kids. Nothing like that. Good, sweet. Back to the video. No? Yes, no? Live dashboard. Paper Sheepdog live. Okay. Like, should I share that link or should I share the actual... Hey, how are there two people watching? Is that me? It's a me. It's a me. By the way, I have for a long time had my name, my full name online and all this kind of stuff. I don't intend to hide behind anonymity or anything like that. In fact, it kind of cuts you off from legitimacy in your surroundings, in your world, and all that kind of stuff, so which isn't kind of fun. I got over that a long time ago. And it's cool. It's cool. It's good. Is this loud enough? Whoa, it's loud. Paper Sheepdog live. It's loud and my headphones are at 100%, that's why. Like, should I share that link or should I share the actual? Yeah. This is good. This is good volume. We are loud, loud and proud. Okay, where is my dang old link? Give me the link. Give me the link. Give me the link for this video, man. How do I share this? Share. Damn, you are annoying. YouTube. Share. Now, what is this going to be? Watch. Oh, there it is. And this is, of course, live, right? Watch. Correct. Correct. Okay, cool. So, what I can do now, just gonna pop back to video of me, and do I put anything else? No, that's it. Just you and me here. And I'm going to pop this link to a few places. Fight. Okay, my Portal Mountain crew. I'm live streaming and I don't have an agenda yet, you could say. So we are going to get into that pretty soon. Once I continue to link this to a couple other places. Sounds like a party. I like that, how that came through. Okay, whatever. Desktop. Yeah. I mean, kind of funky thing about live streaming your desktop. I mean, people can post things or say stuff, or there could be inappropriate content at the last second. That's really why my reservations exist for sharing my desktop when I'm on social media. Like, this is a Telegram chat, and I've just posted my live stream link to the Portal Mountain lobby. Hey guys, so back up and running for a bit with the live streaming stuff. We'll see how it goes. You can tell the main context right now is the coronavirus thing. So if you have any questions or comments, please PM me or cool. So I also wanted to get Facebook in on this. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of people. Maybe. Hey, who cares, right? Like, okay, first, a couple people who requested specially that I send them the link. I'm going to do that. So we're probably five minutes. We're probably like 5 minutes into getting into any kind of even startup stuff here. I'm just sharing my link around. Share the link. Okay. And I'm going to use my phone as a monitor as well to keep track of the stream health. Copy link. Copy link. Hey, you there. Okay, there is the YouTube. Corona Cruise 2020. What a blessed title. Okay, anybody else who would want to? Okay. A bit more family. And again, I don't know where this is going to go exactly. That's kind of part of the point. Is I'm just jumping in, I'm diving in. I've already done so much preparation, so much, years and years even, but lately a lot of stuff that I can go through right away. And so I'm just kind of posting this link out there to a few friends and family and see. Just those who have been kind of interested in the past of my live streaming. And again, so I'm not putting any pressure on myself for this one. What you are getting is, if things work out well and good, as they should, a more meditative experience. So let us, yeah, see, like stuff like 4chan, at least it's not coming up or anything like that, but things I do not want to, yeah, so I was on, anyways. I forgot that I'm not streaming my desktop right now, but I will again come back to that. And this is, of course, OBS software package for streaming. I have it configured to stream out to YouTube, and it's pretty cool. I can select a bunch of different scenes here that changes all this stuff. And we have actually, so the setup right now, why not? Should I post it to Facebook? Okay, coming back. So again, if I end up flashing Facebook and all that, whatever, I'm cool with my stuff, but I try to, respect others, even their name and stuff like that, if I can, if possible. So let's try that again. So am I gonna make a new post, or I'm just gonna post it right here? Yeah, anybody who has liked this, you're cool. You're gonna you are going to be invited Friday, March 13th. Wow, that's pretty interesting. What a week. What a week. The markets have gone totally, completely nuts. Fastest crash ever on record, and the worst crash since '87. And this follows what I stated. Yeah, cool. Should I also make a post? Like, why not? Maybe I'll get some actual people watching the live stream, which I think I do. Half of them are me, I know that. Dashboard, good, okay. It says 4 watching now. And somebody gave a thumbs up, so it must be somebody, not me. So that's cool. Hi, whoever you are. Feel free to use the chat in YouTube itself. Welcome. As well, if you text me or Facebook me, I probably shouldn't have a problem noticing that, but if I don't notice, try the YouTube chat or something, I don't know. Yeah, so why not? So we're still about to launch here, you could say, to get into some of the details of what's on my mind and my meditations about all of these events and what's going on, my take on things. And should I? Okay, I'm gonna post it just for fun. Fun. Corona Cruise 2020. That's what I'm calling this video live streaming series. We are on a cruise. We are on a cruise. This cruise ship Earth. And unfortunately, there has been an outbreak. There has been an outbreak, and which some people are paying attention to. Most people now we're kind of being sucked into this whole thing. And there's the good and the bad, there's the dangerous and the all kinds of things to consider. Post to my newsfeed. So if I post the YouTube link, should I? Yeah, that's cool. Live stream discussions of the current event. The current event. This is my story. This is my song. Okay, cool. Revisit your stories after. I don't even know what a story is. It just sounds epic. Sounds like a party. Okay, so I'm just sitting here. Right now I'm sitting here. And Okay, let's get out of the Facebook. Open up a blank GDoc. Okay, so did that work? That worked. All right, so I am just sitting here. I have a I'm very thankful for the technology stack which I'm currently sitting upon. I've got a couple cameras set up, we got lights, I got a decent microphone that I've had for a while I use to record music, and a good internet connection, all of this stuff. So I'm sitting at home, I'm looking into my screen. Nobody is here, the wife is probably going to be home soon, which is fine, so you'll hear noises and stuff in the background, and that's cool. And I'm able to, being here alone, connect with potentially so many different people via the internet. And so there's this amazing thing that I kind of just stumbled onto thanks to my buddy Corey, who goes as Corey TV in some circles, and he was getting into the he's always been into production and film, theater, all that kind of stuff. He started live streaming as well, so that kind of sparked me to get onto the bandwagon. And our first question has come through. Are we all gonna die? The answer is no. With a qualification, I'm going to put not yet, because we are all going to die, just not yet, and not necessarily due to this. Yeah, so there's my Facebook. Cool, we got people, we got names, we got photos. Anyways, going to try and minimize that. How was I going to do that? Let's take that to its own window. Okay, so I don't need to click on it. Okay, so we're starting up a Google document here right now. We're going to call it Corona Cruise 2020, and this is going to be like kind of a master document. So whatever I go through or whatever I talk on or about, it's going to be something linked off of here, off of this document. So you'll be able to look back. If I reference something in a video and you're like, wow, I wish I had that link, any link I go over or go through is going to be here. And I'm going to try and use this to organize my thoughts. So in real time, we're just going to do that. So Corona Cruise 2020, and so I'm just thinking document structure right now. There are a few things, a few constraints here. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to have to make another document. Corona Cruise 2020 master document. Okay, so from there we are going to go live streams. Okay, this is going to be like a subsection or whatever. Where is our heading? Heading. Where? Nope. It's got to be paragraph. Fine. Heading 1. Apply heading 1. Cool. So then we're going to come down here. We'll have a table of contents eventually. So live streams, we're going to give that heading 2. And under this, we are going to start keeping track of Corona Cruise 2020, Friday, March the 13th. Okay. So this now has to link to another document. As well, I'm going to grab the link for this document to link back to it. So this is to keep my master document as organized as possible, as tight as possible. And I'll explain what I'm doing with this other document in just a second. So we'll get shareable link. Anybody can comment. So feel free to comment on these documents. Please comment on them. I require feedback because my intention here is not to just spit out a whole bunch of information or garbage or my own ideas, but because it's literally endless, it's beginningless and endless. So it helps to zero in on context if you, the viewer, the participant, would be so kind as to send me questions or comments. Where can I get TP? Sorry, bro. There's question number 2. I will be recording the questions as well. We're going to do that in our other document. So, not to get distracted, we'll copy the link. Anybody can comment. We're going to go to create a new Google document. And there's our link. Cool, I'm just going to keep that right there quickly for a sec. This one is called Corona Cruise 2020, March 13, Friday, March 13. Friday, March 13, and we'll call it working document. Excuse me. Friday, March 13th, working document. Okay. That's great that we're already in this. What the working document is largely going to be is basically a narrative, a log of what we talk about. So setup, and I'm going to just check out OBS. So we've been live for half an hour already. So 0 minutes to basically did I even get into anything? No, we're into setup. So 30 minutes. We didn't really get into this. We fielded 2 questions so far. And so this will also help if somebody wants to view the working document before watching the live stream, or to find certain parts in the live stream. They will be able to do so. I've been experimenting with live streaming, this which I call the my personal production pipeline. So a lot goes into live streaming, into recording. It's not as easy as it sounds, and actually the live streaming may be maybe the easy part. There's all kinds of post-production and things that could or should go on to actually make much more usable and shareable little links and clips, and as well transcribing. I use a website to do automatic or AI transcriptions, so that the transcript of this live stream will be available and will be searchable, so you can search it for keywords. I'll get into later on certain protocols, and specifically I'm talking about markup protocol right now, which is while I am live streaming, you may notice sometimes I may make kind of like editing notes. These are notes for after the fact, so that when I go through and am trying to work with work with this document or work with the video, trying to make something of it, I can use these cues, these markup cues, to say, you know, I may even say the word markup if that one comes through well. And those will be used. Hi, honey. And those cues will be used later on to help me edit and make clips and stuff like that. So a lot of what I have to go through is regarding how can other people also get into live streaming, into doing video conferencing, and I have a vision or many visions of different aspects of this, of how this this kind of communication works, and how we can more meaningfully connect with each other online. And you're viewing it right now. So back to the document. So 0 to 30, we are at basically setup right now. And good, this is our working document. So I'm just going to quickly share this. And again, can comment. So I'm just going to open up our master document here. Master doc. Okay, so now we already have some content. We'll link that in. Okay, cool. And so again, I don't want to get ahead of myself as far as just kind of spewing out information. So I'm going to try as much as I can to gain feedback from people. As far as questions, I'm going to, if I don't have any to start with, I'm just going to kind of sum up what I can about the situation and talk about the different angles. And as I do that, I'm going to fill out this working document here. So just finish up formatting quickly. Heading 1. Cool. All right. So it seems like today was the, so I'm just going to start with a quick kind of summary or wrap up of the last week for me, which has been a little bit, you know, I'm of course not, there is first off no reason to panic. Of course, being prepared and doing certain things, panic to me is more of a mind state, and it's not helpful. However, if you do listen to that voice in the back of your head or whatever and think, well, I should maybe prepare, if things happen in the future, if things get worse or whatever, you'll be glad then, because you won't be forced to panic. And that window has been closing this week, obviously a lot faster than I thought that it would. So I'm just going to pull up a Facebook post that I made a week ago. And first, also, I'm just going to check again. 2 watching right now, so it's probably me, myself, and I. But that's okay, because this will still be up and available for people to review if they want to later. Of course, I'm going to try and mark up the live stream the best that I can to signify anything that may be clipped or that I would want to share. So I would like to get into highlights. Of course, it's a time constraint, and that is always precious working full time. So one week ago on Facebook, I made a weird post. At the time, people thought it was weird, I assume. So, dear friends and family, get ready for 2020. Not a good time for head in the sand. Private message me if you like. And that was it. And of course, then I got calls and stuff like that from family, and oh, is everything okay? And like, it's the usual, like, I've been into, so years and years ago, the crash of 2008, that was kind of what triggered me on to these kind of deeper investigations of our world, the banking system, how the government works, all kinds of conspiracies. This whole thing I called the Gauntlet of Fear. And that really that set me, like, I just saw something that I couldn't unsee. It kind of like unraveled the fabric of the world for me, from my perspective, that trust and faith that everything is normal and always will be normal and just keeps going on, and we can believe in whatever we want and things will be okay. So all the way up through 2012, I was getting into prepping and this kind of stuff, and I tried talking to family, I tried making so many posts on Facebook, and I just felt like nobody was there yet. Nobody, like very, very few people. I had to make a community online for this kind of stuff. Like, I jumped onto Sorcery of the Spectacle on Reddit when it was at 200 subs, and that was my home because people there understood what was going on. And this is quite a bit later. This was already, I believe, this was right before my spiritual awakening thing, my spiritual rebirth. That's when I started getting into the subreddit, and that's been my home. We made a network of it. Now we've branched out to Telegram. I think we have probably 100 groups. So anyways, a lot of interesting stuff, good people, great people, but online in these very niche communities, this was the only place that I had to connect with. Facebook was a wasteland for me. I was driving 110% as fast as I could to figure out how the world works and how to fix it, basically, because of what I saw. And so this took me very, very far into the depths of hell, and way up into the sky. And of course I went through that that's, as I just called it, spiritual rebirth. The old me died at some point. All the fear of this gauntlet of fear, it all vanished. And I was put on a new track, and I saw something, a glimpse of something. I was shown the true way. That sounds stupid. The true way, as if there is people have political approaches to problems. They think that the problem is out there, and that we just need other people to fix themselves in a way which we prescribe. And this is kind of the political emotion. We just feel these signals, and we think that it's out there that needs to fix, to make the signals stop triggering and hurting us. Then stop it. The signals are coming from out there, therefore we need to fix things out there. So this is, put simply, in another simple way, it's like fix yourself before you fix anybody else. Heal yourself before you can heal others. Put on your own oxygen mask before you put on a mask of others. And these are kind of just platitudes which sail over the head, and oh yeah, duh, right? But I'm trying to point very generally and vaguely at this kind of idea, this this search for the self. What are we inside, and what binds us and connects us all together? Who are we all collectively? And I believe that you who are listening and watching this, I believe that you have a conscious experience, and that these words are landing and impacting in this completely unique to you sort of playing field of your own mind and your own body and your own experience, and all this kind of stuff that this spiritual awakening leads to. It shows you a vision of yourself, which allows you to see the others. And before doing that properly, without connecting with your own body and your own context, you have no hope of ever telling or helping the world to do anything. You will always come at it with a machine-like sort of approach. And again, so I'm not trying to patronize or anything like that. Everyone's on their own journey, and bottom line here is that I trust you. I trust you that you are on your journey, and it's not up to me to change you. And perhaps you're thinking, oh, I would express that. I would say the things he's saying. Or perhaps you're saying, well, this guy's full of himself, or all that kind of stuff. And so I'm kind of getting into a monologue here. I'm trying to go over a bit of history, just to set up this Facebook post, and continue on through this last week of how it's been for me. So I kind of can't. It's hard to do that without giving this kind of historical context for me. So I found that my family and friends on Facebook are have been in the past very unresponsive and very, very much defeated as far as, oh, what can I do about it? What can I do about it? You try getting into any topics like this, like, can't we make the world better? Just as an open-ended question, it's like, oh, I can't do anything about it. And this is like a demonic type of response. And I'll get into spiritual mechanics and stuff like that later on. But yeah, these patterns that we're locked into, they bind us, and we need to figure out how to release those and how to come back into our potentiality and out of our crust. And this is kind of a way to describe the only effective political movement that there ever was, is the movement of pay attention. Stop being so crusty and stop applying old and used up methods and views and realities to the situation, which is always unfolding and always changing. So that's a little bit about feedback protocol, what we call it. One of the things heavily related to that, and that's the paying attention to and the dynamic shaping and molding of your reality. And of course, I'm going to get into a lot of perception mechanics and how this plays out with communication, and how we can communicate as more of an effective sort of good guys hive mind. And so this is the emergence of the meta-organization. This is the emergence of the meta-religion. This is the meta-church. All of these efforts, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. All that we needed was a catalyst. I mean, I couldn't, one-on-one, yes, I can find paths and bridges. I can make bridges between us. I can see where are you at based on a conversation. This right now is a broadcast, so I don't know who in particular exactly is receiving this. So the effect and technologies that we've developed, and I've been working on projects for on this particular project that I'm referring to, called Portal Mountain, and this is a meta-organization, which is another way of saying an organization that claims to represent the meta-organization. And that's part of org protocol, the way that I said that there, the way that I just conveyed it to you. I'm not saying that this is the kingdom of God or whatever. This is representing a facet of that, from a perspective, from a context. And so we've been developing an understanding of how organizations work, how people dynamically communicate, how they are interfacing with one another, and the ability to share protocols, to share skills, as well. Like, how does discipleship and how does training work in any facet, any field of human behavior, all this kind of stuff. This is the package. I'm describing the package. So try not to get too far off track. I'm just trying to hint at a whole bunch of things that I want to get into. So at least I know that I've kind of checked it off. So there's also that this document. So I'm going to go right back quickly to so not the master document, the working document. Okay, so we just talked about crash of 2008, and then we talked about prepping through 2012, which was the end of the world. I'm going to bring you back to desktop view here again. So crash of 2008, prepping through 2012, spiritual awakening, and this is just kind of my journey up, getting up to this point. And I also talked about a feeling of alienation from family ever since this stuff happened to me, from family and friends. I mean, I'm cool, but I know there's this. I know that we're not on the same story. Sorry, I'm just listening. Oh, cool. So I have at least one listener. Hello, one listener who just texted me. Not far off. Okay, cool. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm just kind of building up right now to this, to explain this post that I made 1 week ago, and so alienation from friends and family, a feeling of alienation, and it got worse to begin with, because literally I felt like who I was had died, but I still had contained all my memories. It was weird. I was just unleashed into this potential of this body, so that's why they call it rebirth. And it's a very, very strange thing, and it's all swept up kind of with me, and the memories I had at the time were of this, in particular, I was very, very stressed at the time, super stressed. I snapped. That's what happened. I snapped. And I'll get into my testimony and what I saw, but I visually hallucinated on a beach. I saw the universe as a perfect crystal outside of time, and I was outside of time. And so what do you do when you come back from that? Like, I wasn't on drugs or anything. It was reality that I saw, in a way. So trying to keep on track here. So this feeling of alienation, and I eventually just stopped crying wolf on Facebook. I stopped making posts. I was making posts all the time. Sharing things, sharing what I saw. And I know that people are like, they don't like it. They don't like negativity to be in their post or whatever it is. And I didn't get good feedback from it anyways. Like, it wasn't engaging for people. So eventually I was just like, okay, I'm not getting anything at all here. So it's been years since I made any kind of post or any mention of anything being bad at all on Facebook. I don't even go to Facebook anymore, but of course now I will, because I'm going to try and see if I can scrounge up some interest in whatever it is, paying attention to stuff. I feel like there's got to be a good audience for this right now, and I'm counting on all of you to help me out by just paying attention at first. But once I start putting out some good content, and once things start getting rolling, please share, stick with me, ask me questions, get involved. I don't want this even to be like just a live streaming thing about me broadcasting, but I want these cognitive technologies and all this that I've been developing and that we have to share with. I want this to get out. This is a very important work that I've been doing. Not to try and be too prideful or anything like that. It's not the point. As I said, standing on the shoulders of giants, I know for a fact that I've and so many synchronicities and confirmations and other people on these same kind of tracks. I know that what I've found is truly pure gold. It's pure gold, and it's what we need. It's what we need now. So as you follow along, hopefully paying attention, and if we've talked in the past, hopefully you probably already have kind of a context and an idea of what I'm talking about. I hope to get into better contact, into better relationships with all of you out there, with anybody. So I really need this support of a network. I've felt in the past, and we're gonna go over, like, when I first snapped, I had to quit my job because I thought that I was gonna die if I didn't figure out what happened to me. If you could imagine how traumatic that experience would be, that kind of loss of that context. Like, I lost identification with my name, with a string of letters that is my name, first, middle, and last. You could say, like, I don't think that I am that anymore. I'm not these letters pieced together on a sheet of paper or a signature or even a picture. Traumatic. But so when that happened to me, I started doing crowdsourcing and crowdfunding. Like, I tried to get really, I tried to go full time with it, and I wasn't ready because I didn't have people around me. I didn't have a network. I didn't have people who believed. Maybe you could say believed in me, but it's so small of a collection, very, very tight and small collection, and I wasn't ready. I didn't have the skills, the abilities, the work. Now I am just sitting on an absolute gold mine. So please, people, if you can, help me out. To begin with, just by asking questions, by engaging, by looking out for these live streams. I'm going to keep trying to do them. And if I will ever get to the... So should I put more notes here? So I want to get to the point where I can kind of explain. So, Stop Crying Wolf years ago, and that's kind of the setup for this post. So, only 1 week ago, before everybody or many or most people's reality was threatened, I had made, for other people. Let's try that. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool, people. Thank you. Dang it. Okay, so, and what I want to do is try not to stream my own Facebook too much. I mean, no big deal, but sorry if your picture or something shows up there. So anyways, we got this post here, dear friends and family, and before I said this, I knew at that moment, like, okay, this isn't Crying Wolf. Like, this is going to be awkward for a bit, but very soon it's not going to be, like, people are going to understand what what and why I said. So, dear friends and family, get ready for 2020. Not a good time for head in the sand. PM me if you like. So this is kind of my first trying to reach out. And we got, so I got some calls. One person says, "What's up, Brian?" Another says, "Come on, like, what is it? What is it? Tell us." So now I'm going to get into later on, a bit later on. When was this? Was this the same day? 5 days ago. Okay, so 5 days ago, and the post itself was on the 6th, so 7 days ago. So this was a couple days after I decided, okay, I'm going to do some like damage control because people think I'm going nuts. And I'm just going to dictate this post for you. So this is kind of like, I'm going to go back to my log. I have too many things open here. Back to my log. Okay, stop crying wolf. So in this stream, we are at an hour. So 1 hour. 1 hour into the stream. Facebook post setup. Excuse me. And so post setup and plus my comment. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over that. I'm just gonna read it to you right now, just for the record, basically. And I may take a break shortly and hop back on later. Cool. That is good news. Good news, good news. Alright, so I'm just going to read my response that I made to my own Facebook post. Yeah, I read that, didn't I?
It's a new one.
Oh. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so we're getting emails and stuff from our bank and all this kind of stuff saying not to panic. And I'm going to get into the markets and stuff like that a bit. This is kind of like, you could say where kind of most of my concern had lied. Most, I wouldn't even say most, I don't know. There's a whole basket case of things going on here, but as far as the virus itself, not super life-threatening or anything like that. If you're young and healthy, you have like better than a 99% chance of survival. So they say this is maybe 10 times worse than the flu or something like that. But there are a lot of things that I don't want to leave it on just a weird raw edge or anything like that, but there's a lot of things that I don't want to even talk about because I don't want my live streams to get banned or anything like that. I don't want to promote any conspiracy theories or anything like that. But I'll just try to say generally, like, I mean, there are some reports, and this could be with any virus, you know, like, some people, of course, getting more severe cases and stuff like that, and potentially like lung damage and maybe other areas of the body getting damaged. But as far as I know, all this kind of stuff is in extreme cases. And so there's the virus itself, not a huge. We'll say it's not my immediate thing that I would want to talk about. As far as the weird things with it, I don't really want to get into that. You can find stuff about it, about its origins and all that kind of stuff, or like theories about that on your own. I would go with whatever the media is saying about it. That's pretty much fine with me. And the other thing, so the market, really, like the reaction to it. And the other thing is, like, as we've seen today, at least in Canada, across Canada, now people, and this was this is a wave spreading, like it was happening in America, store shelves going empty, that kind of stuff. I don't think we're really there yet, but definitely there is a kind of, there's a sense of panic today, a little bit. Lineups around shopping, what do you call it, like big supermarkets, that kind of stuff. All the TP's gone from Costco, that kind of stuff. I think that's probably going to die down. That's my thought. Like, this is just kind of like an initial rush, initial reaction type thing. And of course, our supply chains are okay, as far as I know, as far as like canned food and stuff, like what people need and to eat. Like, we have all kinds of warehouses and stuff. Economically, though, speaking, as far as supply chains go, many disruptions, because China has been on lockdown, and we don't know if there's end in sight for that. Like, maybe your new iPhone could be delayed like 3 months, maybe 6 months, and there's all kinds of like the chain reaction of when core suppliers don't ship out. It's like, even if it's one component for your whole product, even if it's built in America but you need that one component and it's built in China, you've got to re-outsource or you've got to insource. So there's this whole like insourcing thing, which I think is going to be a general reaction to this. And in some ways it's a very good thing. It's a very healthy thing to take responsibility for your own needs and to be bringing your capabilities closer to under your own control. And this goes for an individual as well as society. Okay, so I think we've built up to this fairly well. This one post that I made 1 week ago. Dear friends and family, get ready for 2020. Not a good time for head in the sand. PM me if you like. So yeah, I got a few reactions, kind of puzzled, and people concerned about me in particular, because at that point nobody knew what anything was happening. But I knew for basically certain that a market crash was in the works, and that this whole panic shoppers thing is baked into the cake, and there's more that's baked into the cake beyond this, as far as just the mathematics of this virus and how it's spreading and what things are looking like. There's more baked into the cake. So only 1 week later, and this post now probably makes sense to everybody who, if I were to have posted it today, people would be like, yeah, Doug, like, hop on the bandwagon. Anyways, I made a response 2 days later to try and like kind of help calm people down or whatever. Like, no, I'm not going crazy, but you know what? I haven't cried wolf in years and years and years. So here it is. Here it is. This is my project to try and connect with people again. Now that I see that we are united in a way of speaking, in a common narrative, we have potentially a respect for this narrative, which can hold us together, hold our actions together. And so I think that my work that I've been racing towards as fast as I can to try and develop not only myself, but what I have to present, what I have to give, what I have to offer, All I need is a network effect. All I need is people sharing me. And again, doesn't have to be yet or anything like that. But hopefully I'll have time to put clips together and do editing and all that. Like, I work full time, but you never know, like, what could happen with a quarantine and all that kind of stuff. Like, the internet has to keep going. So that we can communicate with each other. So you never know what's going to happen. Maybe, I've had a headache today. I don't know if that's a thing or what. Symptoms for this, as have been reported from what I've heard, is basically a fever, coughing, sore throat. Yeah, general flu-like symptoms, except I think the fever is kind of like a dead giveaway. I'm pretty sure over 80 or 90% of people end up getting fever from this. And so here is the post, the response that I made 2 days after that to kind of try and calm people down. And it's probably maybe a great introduction here a little bit. So, hey y'all, thanks for the messages and contacting me and stuff. I'm just going to see what I can write up quickly to try and convey my thoughts on the current event. First, I want to say that things are going well with me. There's always ups and downs, but I've been really enjoying my work and my projects that I've been working on for the last couple of years seem like they are really starting to take off, which they have been. It's been just cascading one thing after another, just breaking through. And this whole live streaming stuff, I wasn't doing this months ago. Like now, I feel blessed that I've come across so many different things which are all coming together, and please pay attention to me. Yeah, because I've got a lot to share, and this is going to be a really cool live streaming series, and I hope that everything goes smoothly with it. But okay, back to where are we at? So the projects that I've been working on for the last couple of years seem like they're really starting to take off. I don't really use Facebook anymore, so this was just kind of a long shot. Second, I wanted to make it clear that there is no reason to panic or be anxious. The reason for the shortness of this post was just sort of out of frustration. Back in the crash of 2008, it became clear to me that there are some deep problems with our banking system and many of the ways that we do things as a society. Lots of problems and suffering come out of this, and it kind of put me on a trajectory of discovery, trying to figure out why things are the way they are and what we can do about it. I used to post all kinds of stuff here trying to wake people up, and I just eventually stopped. That and continued on with the work. So when I posted this encouragement, I didn't really expect much meaningful action would come of it, but maybe a bit. Maybe a few of you out there, which has been the case, are interested in discussion about what's going on with this virus and market stuff and what to do about it. But really, it was kind of just a venting, a bit of frustration that I felt like I am in a world so far away from what most people seem comfortable with, and that's that alienation thing that I brought up earlier. It feels like there is an extreme complacency that everything will always be normal, and it's understandable. I have only a few recommendations right now. First is stay healthy. Get good sleep. Rest is probably the most important factor to a healthy immune system. Be prepared if you get sick and are asked to self-quarantine. That means having extra food and supplies for potentially a few weeks. Get right with God. Smiley face. And what does that mean? In brackets. You may find opportunities for this, which you never would have expected. I like to talk about this stuff, so feel free to message me. Probably this casual attitude like it's no big deal is great. We should carry on and do our jobs. help each other where we can, and make smart moves to be prepared for more than just the tiniest bump in the road. And that was well received. People liked that. So this is basically my last week. So that was Sunday, and then just weird, like the market flipped out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't think I'm gonna bother pulling up charts or anything like that. I mean, we could. But we're talking like we've been hitting between a 20% and a 30% market crash, and it's ongoing. It's still, we don't know where it's going to land. But that's huge. As I said earlier, this is the fastest crash that's ever happened. And it's probably because of the interconnectedness of people, technology and all that kind of stuff probably has a huge factor in that. And so the fastest, but so we're not yet as bad as 1987, that particular crash, or I believe the Great Depression of '29. I don't think we're there yet, but I mean we're looking at this kind of stuff. Yeah, so I mean the extent, the far extremes of that is the banking system has severe problems and freezes up, lending and credit freezes up, like what happened in 2008. We are seeing indications of that type of event has entered possibility. We could say now. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to get back to my document here. And see if we have any more messages. And I was supposed to set up my phone as a monitor, but it looks like we're still live streaming now for an hour and 20 minutes. So since why don't I do it? Let's do it. It's just nice to be able to see the product, the live stream itself, on a monitor, so I can see that we're still going and all that. Oh, I have some chats. I have chats in YouTube. Sorry, live people, if you are in chat. I've been kind of distracted. So 3 watching now. Remy Riot. Cool. Thanks, Remy. So what does Remy say here? I'm just going to start up my monitor. Interesting question. Come on, monitor. Okay, YouTube on my phone is being dumb. Play. Oh, there we go. There we go. Cool. Oh, there we go. All right. Volume down. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is a question related to the virus itself and the current situation and the spread. So from the chat, thank you, Remy Riot. Do you think the spread of viruses like this is directly related to the structure of our global society, or are viruses inevitable regardless on the way we live our lives? It is an interesting question. I think that there's practically no way to stop the spread of viruses, disease. Like the flu is an example, getting a cold, like these things just ricochet around the globe, mutating, coming again. Unless you have a state, and even a state like North Korea or whatever, who completely tries to block themselves off from the rest of the world, I bet you they're getting the seasonal flu and the cold and all this kind of stuff. You've got people coming and going. All it takes is even a single person to leave that country and get sick and come back, and there you've got a spread. There's an extreme amount of power in the biology of nature, like just the power of nature to replicate. It's an incredible thing to harness, and we see it even with memes, with memetics. So like, try as they might in North Korea, I don't want to pick on any particular country, but just because they try to isolate themselves, try as they might, they cannot stop informational memes even from getting in to their population. So there's a really crazy exponential power to this. Like me broadcasting, even though sitting on this technological stack right now, with the ability to replicate my image, my voice, and all this kind of stuff, and I'm sitting on a stack right now that thousands, even 1 million people could be literally watching me right now if they all clicked the link. That's impressive, but that doesn't even touch the way that nature spreads information. So when you're like, it's a power that just cannot be, you can't really control or contain it. It's incredibly volatile and powerful. It's nature. It's chaos, order and chaos, and yeah. So is this spread, and the way it spread, definitely accelerated by the interconnectedness of our civilization, of our globe. Just look at airplane traffic. That's all you need to know. And once China had this going on there, it was inevitable that it would spread. They could not contain it. There's no way that they could possibly contain it. And before you know it, these cases start popping up here and there, and that's just the nature of it. What we can do is have healthy immune systems, have good sleep, good diet, all this kind of stuff. And the same goes informationally, as far as having a sort of antivirus to our cognitive processes, and what kind of information we let in and how we deal with it. So that's something I really want to get into a lot more later. Just the dangers, but also the power. And really this is kind of like the power of the people, you could say, too, to communicate as in networks. So to communication peer-to-peer. And this is what I am really going to be trying to bootstrap with this live stream video series. I'm going to use a lot of this kind of viral analogy to try and convey like we are now the power of the power of replication among peers. We have all just been confronted with it face to face, and we're seeing that that it can't be stopped. It's up to the individual. Your immune system is the only thing that really saves you from this kind of a thing. No amount of quarantine or closing borders is going to stop or do anything about that. At this point, all we can do, and all that that countries are trying to do, that governments and authorities are trying to do, is slow the spread. It's already inevitable that pretty much everybody is going to get this. Not everybody, but they predict whatever 70% of the world's population probably will at one point, and it's going to be like the flu. Some people don't really get sick with the flu, and that's kind of the case. Like if you're healthy, your immune system is good, and we find that this particular strain does not impact younger people as much as it does older. So yeah, I wonder if that kind of, I think it is inevitable that this type of contagion spreads, both the biological as well as neurological contagions, you could say. And that's kind of one of the main parallels that I want to get into with this, because what do we do about it? What do we do? How do we help ourselves? And not only this pandemic or whatever, the coronavirus, but how do we help ourselves in society? Like this current event is just showing us how kind of heartless the systems are that we participate in. And that's not to say tear them down or anything, but they need to be augmented with this feedback protocol, such that we are participating in our own governance to some extent. Even this ability to like wash your hands and all that kind of stuff. Like we tell each other. That's kind of taking a responsibility on yourself as to what to do about this virus. You maybe decide to go to the store and get some extra food, and you tell your friends and family. So this is an example of how I kind of broke my own wolf crying quarantine, because I had a kind of self-propelled vision of this unfolding, and it didn't matter anymore. Like, the ridicule wouldn't last for long, if at all, or the weird feelings, or having to explain myself and all that. So I'm going to be pulling a lot of parallels as this live streaming series goes on between the coronavirus, so a spreading pathogen, as a kind of like a really negative, kind of almost evil feeling thing. And a counter pathogen, you could say, called what we're calling, or have called, mimetic medicine. And this is bringing each other online as in this context of responsibility, and in this context of communication and helping people to communicate with each other. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's why I'm trying to reach out to people. To my friends and family, because I've been developing what I'm doing right now, currently in this context. Been preparing for years. So this current event narrative seems like a great context to kind of dive in and say, like, okay, we're all in this together. It's not just about the virus, but the coronavirus is showing us how, and will continue to show us how kind of fragile our systems are, and how heartless they can be when we as people don't take up our own responsibility to care for ourselves and others in an ever-expanding capacity. Like, that's not something that just ends. That's a lifelong journey to become ever more helpful to yourself and others, to make society better, to make the world better, a better place than when you found it, all this kind of stuff. Like, do we think that we are leaving a better world for our future generations and that kind of stuff? So how to do that, and this, again, I'm referencing basically the meta-organization, the meta-religion. This is how to organize with each other. This is how to teach each other the inner world, and this is these are prerequisites for these capacities of like cognitive antivirus, or however you would call it. Thanks, Rami. Yeah, I want the world to be better because I was here. That's a great way to put it. So I am going to use as best as I can this whole coronavirus thing, and let's all hope that things don't turn out as bad as they can, but I'm sure they're going to get worse before they get better. And I'm going to try and do as much as I can to get these live streaming sessions going. Whenever I get back from work, or if it's a weekend, I'm definitely going to be on tomorrow. I may even do multiple sessions. I don't know. Currently, I'm not organized for this, but like as far as the live streaming itself, I'm going to be live streaming the organization of what I plan to talk about and what I'd like to get into. Yeah, and I'm just going to take a moment here to read more chat. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think I kind of addressed that we can't really stop viruses from happening and that kind of stuff, as well as from memes from spreading, but we can harness this power to some. I mean, we have to, if we want to survive as a civilization. We have to basically figure out how to undo some of the damage that's been done to cause so much helplessness and just the current state of advertising. And you can look at that as an example of how people are just being bombarded with signals saying that they don't have enough, they're never enough, they're not good enough, and it just triggers that desire. And this is what that thing that needs to be cut that I referenced earlier, those triggering signals coming in, triggering desire for things to be different or whatever, and we become possessed by those desires. And this also is part of that sort of cognitive antivirus, to be recognizing those signals, to see our role in what happens, to watch the incoming advertisement, to notice it translate into desire, and watch the money come out of your wallet. This whole situation needs to be brought back to balance. I'm not talking about revolution or anything like that, which means to go about the path of a circle. Rebellion, whatever. I used to like that word better, but it's not, to me it's not even that. I want to work I want to work with what we've got, throw away as little as we should or can, and try to reintroduce this idea of responsibility, of personal responsibility, starting with me, myself, and then my friends and family around me. So that's who this is for. If you're into that kind of stuff, if you're interested in, if any of this kind of like really rings a bell and seems very resonant with you, then you're probably already, you may already be very, maybe you've been spiritually changed, like what happened to me. I refer to this as membership. So this is a coherence protocol. But anyways, we want to know that some people, like if you're looking at a church, you have some people who are participants and some who are members. And what I mean by that is some people are following the motions and the actions, but they don't know why. They haven't been changed deeply inside. So that inner inner inside change is what I refer to membership, and this is coherence protocol. And so towards mastery is that ability to teach this kind of a thing. And so those of you who may out there listening, watching, may be following along with this kind of stuff, or want to help to nudge people around you, or to organize better. Maybe you know people who you feel are already spiritually kind of awakened, or who have been tuned in to this coronavirus thing, or whatever it is that's changed them. You may want to organize yourself better, to know better how to approach people, to gauge where they are at. One of the most important things that I've learned about as far as connecting with people is the stories that we share. That everybody walks around with a context, with their own running narratives, with their own ideas in their head. And if you approach somebody like that, and you do not establish some type of intersection between your story and their story, there's no reason for them to listen to you, or trust you, or take you seriously, or even pay attention to you. So again, I'm trying to just hint at things that I'm going to be getting into, this reflection, like that this is what I want to do with this live streaming series, which I've called Corona Cruise 2020. It's kind of there's a number of plays there. Corona obviously catching some attention there. A cruise, like the cruise ships, this is just that we are on cruise ship Earth. We are all together on a cruise right now, and somebody started coughing. So what to do about that? And the other thing is that you can't just shoot them. This isn't Texas. You can't just put a bullet in their head. It won't stop the spread anyways. The other thing is that Corona Cruise 2020, we are the crew. We are the crew of the Corona Cruise. By crew, I'm referring to members. And so here now, these are the beginning articulations of another angle, or another representation of this meta-organization. So I've already kind of seeded this live stream with some starting information to get that going. So now it's like a thing. It's an organization representing the meta-organization. I invite you to become a crew member on the cruise ship Earth, and there's this sort of teleology, or this hyperstition, or this what's a better word? There's a process of progress through stages of learning as well as connecting with people. So I want to teach you how to start up a crew. And that's basically what the meta-organization looks like. In order for such an organization to operate as a viable system, it must replicate itself. So now we've just started conveying a little bit about the kind of context of where I want to go with this. And this is basically what I would be doing is a translation of the Portal Mountain project. I don't know if you can look it up. It's I don't know if it's on Google yet, but the website we have for it is Portal Mountain, but it's .in at the end, so portalmounta.in. And there's some information about the meta-organization there and how it works. And so I'm going to try and represent that, translated into this Corona Cruise 2020 organization, right? So as an organization, it has the ability to replicate. It has the ability to identify different coherence, people within different degrees of coherence. And we are going to attach to that a whole bunch of particularly relevant skill sets. So that this, like including food preparation, basics like sleep, getting enough exercise, what we call the areas of concern, hygiene, fitness, nutrition, and rest. So those are kind of like a very basic base point, generic thing to focus on. But to begin with, so the crew is, we need to kind of, in addition to this core that I've just been describing, like for example feedback protocol, as well as coherence protocol. There's also bootstrap protocol, which is for taking information like what I'm giving you and effectively putting it into practice and trying it and seeing if you can get it to work. That's what bootstrapping is. And that's the kind of the, I mean, you keep doing it, but that's what participation is all about. Because before you're a member, as far as you've had a shift of reality and suddenly you completely understand something, before that happens, you must participate. So church and religion is a perfect example. We follow, for example, the ideal of Christ, the commandments of God, this kind of stuff, and at first we don't know why we're doing it. It may sound right, it may sound good. We may have an awareness built up that these people are good and they seem healthy, and I want the peace in my heart that they have. But as a participant, we don't know what we're doing. We're just following directions and making it look good. The overarching problem with the church, capital C church, is that people stop there because the organizations are basically in a state of decay. And membership is not, like true membership in the capital C church is one way of saying it, goes unacknowledged, even to people who have been reborn and born of the Spirit. They don't, in my experience, there's not this, it's almost like you don't want to make people feel bad by saying like, oh, you're not born again, and that's spiritual rebirth. The correct use of that term, so to speak, is basically membership. In the context of Portal Mountain, we call this membership in the guild. So yeah, what I'm going to be doing with this organization, the Corona Cruise 2020 org, or name to be changed or updated, whatever, is to kind of go along this context where I want to help myself and the people around me to become better prepared for this kind of stuff, as well as to create community amongst themselves and to help to build responsibility for themselves. And if you look up, I mean, any kind of stuff, like all over YouTube, whatever, people trying to fix the world and whatever, it always comes down to this, like, let's build community. But there's never, it seems, a context which everyone is on board with. And so that's why I'm hopping on to this Corona Cruise. And so as a viable system, the Corona Cruise 2020 organization is an organization that spreads horizontally, peer-to-peer. There is no leader, but there are what we call proximity guilds, and it's basically like, instead of having an identity-based role, like I am in this position in the organization, or I am this position, I hold this title. Instead of that, it's more like roles. It's a role. Who can perform a role? People take on multiple roles. It's like hats, hats on and hats off. Different hats, multiple hats at once. So if you research into all this kind of stuff, you'll find that this has all been done. It's all been done. And this kind of thing is emergent. It's emergent. So I'm not alone to be trying to do something like this. Such an organization. So just creating another reflection of the meta organization. It's just I do this because I know how to do this. I know how to say it, and it's taken me a long time to find the language for this stuff. Not only to study it, but that experience, that spiritual experience, happened to me almost 6 years ago. And I've been sprinting as fast as I can to try and be able to convey this kind of stuff. And one of the most difficult pieces of conveying that is this self-reference. So oftentimes people want to know what something is. They want to know abstractly what some information is. Oh, what is your project? Well, my project is the unfolding of life from within me. There is no demarcation. It doesn't stop or end at even my body. So that, like this is, to be able to talk about this kind of stuff is very, very challenging, very rewarding, and I never could say anything like this years ago. Never would be able to. So I'm wondering if I might wrap this up and grab a bite to eat. We're looking at, how long are we at? We're at an hour, 45 minutes, which is great. I probably don't want to go more than about 2 hours per session. I'll probably take breaks and stuff like that. Of course, I could always mute my mic and hit the burb. Burb is up, right? Yeah, cool. All right, so here we are. And wow, so I need to update my document a bit because I said that I would. Oops, no, I don't need word count. Okay, so you're here, good. So what we just went into, oops, am I on the wrong one? Okay, good. So I'm just gonna put here Corona Cruise 2020 org. Reflection of the meta org. And I'm gonna note translating from Portal Mountain project in brackets, which I've been working on for almost 3 years with many people. Thank you all. You know who you are. And so I'm translating that into a context that makes sense for people. And I'll just give a bit more context there. So I'm going to introduce the Zettelkasten game. And have I called it anything else? It's sometimes just called the card game. Sometimes it's referred like that. ZKG. I also may have called it I did call it sometimes the card box game. And card box that's where Zettelkasten came from. Zettelkasten is a German for card box or slip box. And just to kind of close out this session here, so I'm going to introduce quickly value of mind mapping for organizing people together, as well as sorting out your own life. Okay, so I'm gonna pop over to, we're there, pop over to my placemat. Just moving that monitor out of the way. Okay. Right, so the Zettelkasten, the idea of the Zettelkasten method originally, I think it's like almost 100 years old. It was created to help keep track of notes and to, like, let's say you go through a whole book, and you want to keep notes of the book. There's a method for doing this. It goes something like you'll create cards and number them 1 through 10, for example, or just you'll keep iterating numbers, 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever, so on. As soon as you want to expand, let's say number 3, card number 3, you started taking notes about whatever, we'll just use our example here about rest, about how to rest. So we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, hygiene, rest, nutrition, fitness. So number 2, we're going to expand that. We go 2A. So 2A, different aspects of rest, like going to bed regularly, on time. 2B might be not nutrition, like sometimes you could take supplements to help with rest. 2C might be like meditations to help calm the mind and go into that sleeping mode. So this is the Zettelkasten method. There's another, and this is a very bottom-up thing. I'll get to that later, but this is very sequential and kind of narrative-based, or concrete, as I would say. So you go through a book and you have these numbers and kind of stuff. The other method which this game incorporates is from a book called The Glass Bead Game, and that is more top-down approach. That is more idealistic in the sense that, for example, nutrition, fitness, rest, and hygiene, they don't necessarily have an order. So I would use a strike point protocol for iterating a cloud of concepts in the abstract and how they relate to another, when they're not necessarily instantiated into a sequence of events, or do this first, this step, then that step. So anyways, that's kind of to give an idea of 2 of the major methods or ideas that are put into this. And I've introduced this a lot in some of my previous live stream videos. We've done games online with people. A lot of development has been going into that. And oh, my stomach is grumbly. Yeah, I need food anyways. So I'm just gonna throw this down, like customer acquisition. Okay, so here's some cards, some stuff that I've been working on lately. Work from home protocol. Working on deck protocol. So I may remind myself of certain things using this type of a medium. And I'll get into the reasoning behind the medium. Paper and pencil is like as basic as it gets. And this is a mind mapping game. And I don't have my normal card box here, but this is an example of a card box. And this is actually quite a few decks here put together, and this needs to be sorted, and I will be sorting through this stuff live, which will be a very great and interesting exercise. So, and this is kind of like, this has all been coming together. So this is stuff I've been working on recently. You can check out my previous YouTube videos if you're interested in any of that, any details about this DEC protocol. I'm gonna link, actually I was gonna get into like an article about preparing, let me pull up here, so, but I'm not gonna get into it, I know. I'm just gonna post a link to this. I haven't read it or anything, but it's ideas of what stuff you can buy and stuff like that. You know, medications and like all kinds of basic stuff. I'm gonna put a link to this in my current document. And just put that at the bottom there. And so next time when I go live, I'm going to kind of try review this stuff. I may work on this document a little bit more, kind of spruce it up, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'll keep a link as well to the YouTube, to this current YouTube video as well. So that's kind of it for now for me. I'm kind of like losing my motivation right now. I need to eat something, have to go to the washroom. Thank you. Thank you to Rami Riot for all these comments and questions here. I'm just going to make sure I'm caught up here. Oh, he says it's going to be a great series, much needed. Thank you, Rami. There are people who look down on the cruise crew, only there to enjoy their own company while others make it happen around them. That's true. And this is a very interesting point. And this is also a great reflection. I don't expect everybody to pull up their bootstrap protocol. But we can help ourselves, we can help those around us. And once again, thank you all for who stuck with me. There are 3 watching right now. There were 5. One of them is me, but anyways, thank you all. Love you. Stick with me. I'm going to do more tomorrow. Things are going to pan out. They're going to get more organized. I'm going to work on more organizational stuff. This has been just a whirlwind of kind of trying to touch as many little topics as I can that I want to get into as far as directions. And yeah, that's it. That's it. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a good night. Stay safe. Don't panic. Be cool. Meditate. Talk to people, talk to each other, and be well. Thank you.